Big Greg back on the podcast. How are you, man?
Doing good. How about you?
It's been way too long. I looked, it was 3 years ago the last time you were on here, so we definitely have some catching up to do.
Yeah, wasn't Chenzo on the last time I was on too?
Yeah, and he's mid move right now to UNC. I was gonna try to get him on for this show, but it's all good. We'll have him on next time. We'll get you back on next time again, and we're not gonna wait this long again. But yeah, it's crazy, man. I love having NCAA champions on the podcast, like right after NCAA's, but I feel like sometimes it's overload for people. And doing it now, it's like you've had a couple of months to digest everything, look towards next season. So I'm pretty excited to dive into all this. Let's rewind a little bit, man. Let's talk about the college season. You had a 20-0 undefeated season, I think like 70% bonus. Obviously, you capped it off with an NCAA title. And, we're going to talk about it in a little bit. This field of heavyweights right now is so crazy. For you, how good did it feel to finally emerge to the top, get that NCAA championship? We got a KERK fist bump that we don't see that often.
Yeah.
We got some from a stoic, gentle giant. We got some excitement there.
Yeah, I usually don't do too much, but that was a big goal I've had for a while. So to finally check that off the list felt good. Felt like a lot of stress off my back.
Yeah, I can only imagine. That's a goal that people have. They start growing up, state champion, NCAA champion. And for you, we have so many great heavyweights, and sometimes I feel like when you lose guys like Gable and Mason out of a field, sometimes it's not as easy to see how much somebody's improved because you remove some of, like, you only lost to Mason Paris 2 years ago, and now this year you lost to nobody. And when you take some of these guys out of the field, it can be hard to see how much better you actually improved. But I feel like for most people, it was pretty obvious this year how much you improved. Do you feel like you improved a lot year over year?
Yeah, I would like to say so. I mean, more than anything, I just like to get in there and train. It's just fun for me to do every day. So, if I do that every day, I think I'll improve.
What do you think specifically helped you improve the most year over year to make that jump to NCAA champ and to do it in such a dominating fashion?
I think just consistency. Like, I wasn't really worried about, like, whether I won or lost. It was just more of, like, I'm having fun. I'm doing something I like. Yeah.
How much, too, it really seemed like this last year, from an outside standpoint, that you really leaned into your faith. You were more vocal about it. You seemed to lean into it more. What led to that, and how much do you feel like you leaned into it?
Yeah, I think wrestling has helped me, like, grow into a better person and grow into my faith more. Like, just be, like, I think going through tough things that wrestling makes you go through makes you grow into yourself more and become more confident and finding where that confidence can come from. And I think for a lot of people, and for me, it can come through faith. So, Aaron was a big help in that. He kind of took the first step, and a lot of the guys on the team followed a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great to see, as a Christian, I know how much joy and peace, contentment that can bring to you. And seeing that, I think you were wearing your Jesus shirt like NCAA finals. And I'm like, man, it's so cool because in this world of NIL deals and you can get paid to wear certain stuff. And it's like, this is what you're choosing to do. And I think it not only holds you to a bit of a higher standard, but I don't know if there's a way to be more vocal about it.
Yeah, that's kind of why I did it, is because, like, this is the biggest stage you're probably going to have in front of, like, a big audience. So if you're going to get your message out, it should probably be there. And that is my message.
Yeah, I love it. So after you did nail down that NCAA championship, you scratched that off the bucket list. What went into the decision to come back and take advantage of the fifth year?
Just because, I like wrestling. It's fun. I like grappling and doing that jiu-jitsu thing. So I mean, it's just another year I get to come back and keep doing the thing I like. So why not take advantage of that?
Yeah, for sure. And we're going to talk about that grappling tournament. We're going to talk about the team too. But we also you've got a lot of great guys coming back this year. Schultz, Hendrickson, both taking advantage of their fifth years as well. Younger Bastida coming back for his final year. I know that match with Bastida, a lot of fans wanted, and I think this year we got like 6 out of the 8 All-Americans from last year returning. What do you think? I love that you're coming back because of the fun. I think that's a great answer. What are you looking forward to most about this upcoming final season?
Um, what am I looking forward to most? Probably just going through the final season and enjoying it with my team. I would say having I mean, me, Carter, Bo, we have all these guys coming back. I think it's just going to be like a fun bonding experience. We're going to go out there and compete hard together. It'll be cool.
Yeah, I love it. Do you think it's going to be a bit different this year? You mentioned you got rid of some stress by winning that championship. I can't imagine that you're going to wrestle that much more freely and be even that much more better because you're at such a high level already. But do you feel like there's that, like, maintaining that, not expectation, but, wanting to continue to get better when you're already at that level? And you don't got to do it with stress.
Yeah, I don't really have like an expectation of myself because you can go out there and anything can happen.
Yeah.
You can get like thrown to your bed. Whatever can happen. You can't like base anything off of win and loss.
I got a hard time seeing you get thrown to your back, but keep going.
I don't know. Anything can happen. But I know what I can do, and I know like my abilities and what I'm capable of, and I think if I'm in the right headspace and I'm doing the right things, like I can be successful. So
yeah, and we kicked the show off talking about, you winning an NCAA title, but revisiting that from a team standpoint, you guys did set so many records this year, from multiple 4-time champs, largest margin of victory, most points ever scored. What is it like being a part of that? One of, if not greatest ever, one of the greatest current college dynasties in all of sports.
it's pretty cool. I mean, it's better to do things as a team, I think.
Yeah.
So I think it's fun that we all got to be a part of that. But I don't think it's anything we're holding too high regard. I mean, within the next couple of years or however long it takes, somebody's going to break that record. So
sure. Yeah, and the group of college guys is one thing, but you guys also have the greatest freestyle room in the country. NLWC putting 4 on the Olympic team here in a couple weeks, actually. Zane, Dake, Brooks, Snyder, all in the team. 4 out of 6 in the USA men's freestyle team are from the NLWC. What is it like not only having that professional culture there now as you get ready for this final leg of your collegiate career, but also knowing that the foundation is laid to stay there to train to win world and Olympic gold, and you have the best guys in the world right in your room?
I mean, yeah, these guys are killers. I mean, you're going to get pushed every day if you go with these guys. So, I mean, there's no really need to go anywhere else and plus we have such great coaches. They know exactly how to train us, peak us for the right time. So, I mean, it's just a great setup.
Yeah, speaking of the coaching, in a world where college athletics, the conversation around it is greatly revolves around money and NIL, I think so many people look at Penn State and they realize that's not NIL, that's not money, that's great coaching and great culture. What is your perspective on the culture in that Penn State room?
I mean, yeah, I don't think that money is obviously you need money to live and support yourself, but money's not the driving factor for I don't think any guy on the team. I think we're all here because we want to be here and because we love the sport.
Yeah. And over the weekend I was talking with someone about the debate with recruits. When you have the Penn State being such a great team and dynasty, you wonder, will somebody like a Bo Bassett, a Jax Forrest, do they want to come and be a part of a team? Do they want to go to a team where they're the face of the program? It's crazy at Penn State. You can win an NCAA title, and that doesn't make you necessarily the face of the program, but you're a part of such a winning culture. What is your thoughts on that, where, certain programs get an NCAA champ and you're the face of their program for years to come? Whereas Penn State, I don't want to say it's an expectation per se, but it's almost like it's such a tradition at this point of excellence.
I mean, yeah, I think that it's like, I can understand that some people would want to be the face of a program. I don't really have that goal just because, like, I don't know, I feel like that's a little ego driven, if I might say. But yeah, I think I'm here because I want to accomplish my goals. I don't care if I'm a face of a program or not, because that's not what I'm here to be. So regarding those guys like Bo and Jax, I think those guys will be great wherever they go. But I mean, it'd be cool to have them here.
Of course, for sure. Let's talk Olympic trials a little bit. Going into Olympic trials, what was your perspective this year?
I mean, to have fun and go try to win it. I think that was the perspective of everybody, but I mean, I didn't get it done, so that's life.
What do you take away from it? You seem to have a good balance on both wins and losses, but when you do dominate so much and you don't have as many losses, it's always great to see that level of maturity. I forgot the scripture you posted just after, but you were proud of your performance while also wanting more. Like, what did you take away from the trials?
Yeah, I took away from the trials that, like, what I know every day is that there's always room to grow. I can always get better. And it was a good tournament. Go keep getting ready until the next one.
Yeah, and it's so funny how these last, like, call it 5 years, really, maybe a little bit more. I'd have to look at the rosters, but like when you came into college, this group of heavyweights, it's now really going to the next level, even in the senior level. You saw Gable go and win Olympic gold. Now Mason Paris won a world medal last year. He's on the Olympic team this year. This group of heavyweights is something the sport has never seen before. What is it like being a part of that group that is truly changing what for years was like a boring weight? You didn't get a lot of action. There was a lot of slow movement. Now it's one of the greatest weights in college and at the senior level as well. What is it like being a part of that group that's taking that to the next level?
I think it's kind of sick because it's like nobody, like, accomplishments don't really matter. I mean, I don't think, at least, but it's just cool that, like, throughout the years, like, the level of wrestling, like legit wrestling technique, has shot up at the heavyweight division. And I think just seeing that alone has been, like, really cool. We're not just pushing, hand fight. I mean, we do a lot of that too, but there's a lot more to it now, which is cool.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, you're one of those guys that's really leading the charge there. When you look at what you did this season, and you're not. It's not like it's just an outlier where you just have one guy that's absolutely dominating and head and shoulders above the rest. You're majoring and teching very good guys. The major over Nick Feldman, 12-0. That sticks out, where you have this young kid, or Nash at Nebraska, majoring him. For you, are there any matches that stick out, whether it's freestyle or college, over this last year that, really stick out as kind of fun for you?
Not really. I don't really think too much about past matches or go back and watch them. I mean, the semifinals match at NCAA's, that was a fun one. I mean, no takedowns. You gotta go through it, really get tough. I think that was a cool match. But other than that, yeah, I don't really look back at matches I haven't really thought too much about last season.
Yeah. And not only are you already looking forward to next season, I'm sure, you're also competing in a jiu-jitsu tournament here soon, grappling tournament. I was a little stunned to see, I know Nolf and some of these guys are big in doing more and more grappling, and all of a sudden they announced that you were hopping into this tournament. What went into that decision?
Oh, yeah, Nolf just came up and asked me. He was like, hey, do you want to compete at the CJI? And I was like, yeah, that'd be fun. I've never done a jiu-jitsu competition before, but I've trained growing up, and I think I can go out there and give a pretty good performance and maybe surprise a couple of these guys.
How much experience do you have in this? Have you been training jiu-jitsu a bit?
I have been training jiu-jitsu a little bit. We actually have a guy up here training with Nolf, and he's been helping me out too. So it's been really cool figuring out these different positions. It's like when you learn something, like a new technique, or like you figure something out. It's like a dopamine release. It's like refreshing.
Dude, that's why I started this podcast. It's something completely different. All right, let's do some rapid questions. We're gonna rapid fire some questions from Instagram. We got a ton of them. We'll just go through a couple of them. David Carr has a question. From 125 to 197, what's the lowest weight of someone that you think out of the NCAA champions could take you down?
I'm not going to disrespect anybody, so I'll say 125. I could trip and fall. Like, they hit a real fast shot, and I stumble over. Anything could happen.
Do you have a normal pre-match meal?
No. I kind of just do whatever.
What are your thoughts so far on the Marisolas?
They're good guys. I like them a lot.
Favorite teammate to hit in dodgeball?
Favorite teammate to hit in dodgeball? You got to play the game. It's a very political game. There's guys not to hit.
Dirty politics, man.
You always got to take out the weakest guy with no allies, right? I don't need any shots coming back at me.
I love that. Since Aaron Brooks now says he doesn't lift weights, do you lift weights?
I do lift weights.
Following the grappling tournament, do you see yourself transitioning over to MMA in the future?
Yeah.
How are you and Snyder in the room going takedown for takedown?
It's fun. He's really good.
I love that. Do you have a favorite Bible verse?
No, I don't have a favorite one.
Do you like to read any books?
Send me a good audiobook. I'll give it a listen.
My Audible is filled with audiobooks. I can't sit down and read, but I can listen to them.
It's hard to sit down and read.
Let's see. Some of these are duplicates. Will you ever do a clinic in Georgia or come to Georgia in general?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
There you go. Weight training program and diet tips. Do you have any exercises in the gym that help with wrestling?
Pull-ups.
There you go. Pull-ups are a good one. All right, last one. Do you ever see yourself trying out for the WWE?
See, I can't act. I think I could with coaching, but getting that personality out there, it would take a little bit of practice.
Listen, you can be like one of those guys that has, Paul Heyman, or one of those guys that just do the talking for you, and you just go out and just murk dudes left and right. It could be fun.
I'll just go out there like Brock Lesnar. I won't say a word. Just mean mug everybody.
Right. He did not do a lot of talking. It was very minimal when Lesnar would talk.
Very popular too.
All right, Greg, that's all I have for you today. Here's a question for you, though. When do you start to get that itch for the college season to start coming around? I feel like right now, I don't like to wish summer away, but I feel myself getting it for like college football. I'm not at that huge itch for college wrestling yet. When do you start getting that itch for the season to come around?
I don't really get that itch because, like, what would the itch be? The itch would be, like, to get back on the mat and wrestle, but, like, I'm already doing that. So it's just, like, stay present day by day.
I love it. All right, Big Greg, thank you for making time. Best of luck. We might have to get you and Nolf on after the CJI Invitational. Crazy, by the way, that I put out that it's over 80 kilos is the bracket you're in, and I don't follow that at all. So even when I first saw that, I was like, wait a minute, what? I did not realize that it's basically just over and under 80 kilos.
Yeah. So that'd be a lot of weight to cut.
Yeah, so... All right, Greg, thank you for coming on. I'll link up your socials below. Everybody go follow him. He's got a lot of fun stuff coming up, and we'll talk soon, man.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome, buddy. See ya.
And the beat goes on.